The highly anticipated anime adaptation of 8 short manga works drawn by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the manga artist behind Chainsaw Man and Look Back, created between the ages of 17 and 26, is underway by 6 studios and 7 directors. Through a variety of stories depicting adolescent love, recklessness, madness, and bonds, this ambitious project delves into the imagination of this genius. Animate Times features a series of interviews with the directors responsible for each work. The first installment interviews Seishiro Nagao, the director and scriptwriter of A Couple Clucking Chickens Were Still Kickin' in the Schoolyard, about the dedication he put into the work. How did you feel about this project to animate all 8 short works that Tatsuki Fujimoto sensei created from age 17 to 26 in one go?
When I first heard about this project, I frankly thought, what is happening? Certainly, when it comes to Tatsuki Fujimoto sensei, he is not simply a popular manga artist serializing in Jump. To me, he also had the impression of being an authorial figure who suddenly became the darling of the era with works like Look Back and Goodbye Eri. So while it was not surprising that such a project would move forward, I was still genuinely amazed. To animate in one go a collection of short works that hold a sort of practice position from a single manga artist's debut to their serialized works is something I had not heard of recently with other manga artists. Perhaps there truly is no other example.
Please tell us how you came to be in charge of this episode and your impressions and attractions of it.
When I received the project proposal, I was in a position to choose which of his 8 works I wanted to handle. I believe this was because I joined the project quite early. I reread all of his manga works and told the production company that I wanted to direct the anime for either A Couple Clucking Chickens Were Still Kickin' in the Schoolyard or Sasaki Stopped a Bullet. After about 1 or 2 weeks, I believe, the publisher told me they wanted me to direct Schoolyard. I expected some kind of meeting before the decision, so I was a bit taken aback. But in the end, I'm glad it was Schoolyard. It's his debut work, and since it was created without going through storyboards but went straight to drawing, I feel there are some rough parts. But personally, I like the story, character settings, and thematic aspects, so I remember facing the work smoothly during production. The content combines everyday scenes, action, comedy, and dramatic elements, which also aligns with the kind of work I have done so far, so I think I was able to pack various ideas into the work.
This episode feels like a work where you can sense the early impulse of a young Fujimoto sensei. When animating it, please tell us the points you were particularly particular about or that left an impression on you.
Points I was particularly particular about? That's a difficult question. Since it's a short work, there were various sections where things that are usually difficult to incorporate in TV series work due to schedule or cost constraints, or could only be partially realized, were done by the staff. I have a sense that we proceeded without neglecting even a single detailed checking step. No, rather, this way of saying it might be wrong. Each of the main staff members, in particular, were offered the job after I had directly or indirectly seen their previous work and knew they were people who do wonderful work. They are all people who produce high-quality work that sets them apart from others, so I don't think they hold back in their work on a regular basis. In terms of the fact that the work conveys Fujimoto Tatsuki sensei's personal impulses, from a directorial standpoint, I hope that the dedication and impulses of those main staff members are well captured on screen and conveyed to the audience. The process of making anime is an accumulation of thoroughly refined details in every tiny part. And there are many things I cannot know as someone who is not the individual worker for each one of those tasks. Regarding the dedication in production, I would definitely like the staff to hear about it from you.
Director Nagao, could you tell us about the artistic qualities and appealing points conveyed by this episode and the subsequent works of Fujimoto sensei?
That's also a difficult question. He has so many fans that I think it is very difficult for me to talk about his authorial nature or charm from this official-like position. From my objective perspective, one reason he is regarded as an artist reflecting the times is that many readers feel this story is for me. Such creators appear once or twice per generation, not just in manga, but in other genres as well. And I think Fujimoto Tatsuki sensei is one of them, even if he himself is not aware of that.
Regarding the casting of the main characters' voice actors, Kensho Ono and Shion Sakurai, what was the intention or perspective behind their selection?
Regarding Kensho Ono's casting, I recall that I chose him from among several candidates submitted by sound director Kamiyama when deciding on the role of Yuto. Personally and generationally, I was very familiar with Ono-san's voice and acting, but in terms of the story composition, Yuto is a character who appears gentle and earnest, in a protective position toward Ami, and I wanted to create the biggest gap or dynamism in this anime at the moment Yuto reveals his true nature. I felt Ono-san's voice and acting fit perfectly, which was the main reason for the choice. It was supposed to be a difficult role with complex contradictions, but I think he performed it well. Regarding Shion Sakurai-san, I remember from the start telling Kamiyama-san that it might be better to cast a child actor for Ami's voice. We had several candidates say actual lines from Ami in the story and sent the audio samples here, from which we selected Sakurai-san. Ami as a character needed a voice that conveyed not just cuteness, but also a friendliness that makes you want to protect her, an untouched innocence, and a strong core that could face the fact that her friend was eaten and killed by aliens right before her eyes. During the main recording, Kamiyama's passionate directing made Sakurai-san laugh out loud, and watching that was heartwarming for me. It was very good. One casting that I personally will never forget was Takaya Hashi, who played the alien police officer. He was one of the people I had always wanted to work with someday, but this became the first and last opportunity. Though his lines were few, I think he wonderfully expressed the despair that drifts in front of a gigantic presence. I am grateful for the precious opportunity. Thank you very much.
Considering the elements and attractive points you want viewers to focus on in this work, please give a message to the readers.
I tried to create the anime to reproduce as much as possible the impression I felt when I first read his original work. For those who have already read the original, I hope you enjoy seeing how and where things were expressed or supplemented in the animation, and how much your impression has changed or remained the same, including those differences. For those who have not read the original, I want you to know that Tatsuki Fujimoto sensei was creating such interesting works from the time he first drew manga. I also hope you will read his manga originals.